Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Honors Undergraduate Thesis Program Information Session for SPSIA. I am Amanda Ammirati. I'm so thrilled to be here with you. I'm hoping that this is the beginning of what will be, you know, a lot of correspondence that you, the students, and I will have with you, applying and joining the program. I'm going to pull up the chat. Just bear with me one sec. Where is it? Never mind. I can't find it. So we're just going to move on. Thank you so much to Nick and to Dr. Mirilovic for inviting me to chat with you all. This is an incredible opportunity for undergraduates at UCF, and it's gonna be a lot of information. So just have your phones sort of ready for a few slides. I'm gonna recommend that you take a photo, and we're just gonna jump right in. So the Honors Undergraduate Thesis Program is housed within the Burnett Honors College and falls under the Office of Honors Research. We are located in Trevor Colburn Hall, room 248. We are here, but all of our services currently are virtual. The director of the Office of Honors Research is Dr. Padmini Kupama Waldron. She is a champion for undergraduate research, honors research, and she has been awesome with helping UCF and BHC to open up options and access for students all over UCF for honors research. I'm the coordinator of the program, as mentioned earlier. I handle admission, a lot of the back end stuff, um, so many things, but sort of like a catch-all. But I am so thrilled to be here. We also have two peer advisors currently, Abigail Reynolds and Omar El Marebi. Both of them are excellent resources for students to both advise at the beginning of the honors research process, as well as throughout the process. Throughout all HUT stages. They are great because they are currently going through the HUT program and they can offer that awesome student perspective. This is one of those slides that I wanted to recommend that students take a photo of because there are a few programs here: Summer Research Academy, McNair, RAMP, and Intro. These three programs are different but sort of similar in that they introduce students to the various opportunities in research that are offered here on campus. So I'd encourage you to take a look into those as a way to maybe layer and stack with the honors undergraduate thesis program. But today we're going to be talking about HUT. So I'll stay on this slide for one more moment, give you an opportunity to take a screenshot or a photo, and we will move right along. So the Honors Undergraduate Thesis Program is outstanding. It is a 2 to 4 semester program for juniors and seniors. It's open to all UCF students who qualify, and it allows students to not only write and publish an honors undergraduate thesis, but you also earn the honors distinction on your diploma, your transcript, and so on. So it's another way into the Burnett Honors College. We have many students who were not who are either transfer students or who did not apply or get accepted to the Burnett Honors College back when they were freshmen. This is another way in, another way into the family. And you do earn that honors distinction forever and ever. So it's really an awesome way to maximize your undergraduate experience here at UCF. The HUT program allows undergraduates to engage in original and independent research as principal investigators. So, what does that mean? The originality portion of the HUT program means that the thesis is answering a question that has not yet been answered before. It represents the student's own insights and conclusions rather than already received ideas. The independent portion of the program means that students design their own research project rather than having every single step assigned to you. And you do you're working independently, so you're not, it's not a group project with other students, but you can expect to have light oversight by a faculty member and actually a faculty committee. Just a few quick thoughts. The thesis does not need to be a huge, groundbreaking research project. A smaller project is enough to demonstrate a student's mastery of his or her discipline and a capacity for independent work, which is essentially just a couple of the things that we hope that students take away from this program, is being able to not only show future grad schools, future employers, that you do have a capacity for independent work, but you're also demonstrating all of the skills and the knowledge that are needed for the project that you've chosen. So it's an awesome way to leave your mark on your discipline or on a related discipline. The Honors Undergraduate Thesis Program offers two outstanding options for students. So the the options are really endless for you when it comes to um, which discipline you are able to write a thesis. We have allowed it on our end so that students can choose any discipline. Um, for instance, the honors in the major thesis, HIM is what we were formerly known as because that was the only option that we offered. Students had to write a thesis in the major that they've declared. But over the last few years, we've rolled out the honors interdisciplinary thesis, which is really awesome because it allows the option for students to write a thesis either in their minor or in a totally different discipline. It could be one that is very much related to your discipline, your major, or it could be one that complements it nicely or is really just, you know, totally outside of the box. I encourage you to be creative and to think about a few different points. What what is something that you'd like to be doing in 5 to 10 years, either, you know, probably in your field? A lot of students choose honors in the major thesis because you know, it a is easier to apply the credits toward your graduation plan. But really at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are choosing a topic that you're passionate about. And so sometimes thinking about what are reasons um, that you've entered the major and the potential career that you're hoping to enter. What are some of those driving factors, those things that give you that passion, and what is something that you'd be happy ideally to be working on for, you know, 2 to 4 semesters, you know, the tail end of your undergraduate career here at UCF. So that passion is really something that you want because it's going to come through in your writing and the effort that you put forth in the project, the product rather. So in the HUT program, students are expected to research, write, defend, and publish an original honors thesis, again, in any discipline. This thesis is published through the university library and is available to researchers worldwide through electronic databases, including STARS. And this is one of my favorite things to talk about in information sessions because right now, we have nearly 724,000 downloads worldwide. That's total. But a fun fact, in November of last year, just a few months ago, that month alone, we had over 27,000 downloads. That is huge. This means that HUT research is not only uh, being accessed all around the world, it's important. It matters. A lot of these topics are very timely, and I encourage you to get in on this because the HUT research that is being put out there is it's really outstanding. So and the numbers prove it. A lot of these the countries that you see that have all of these amazing numbers, the downloads are coming from different government entities, major corporations, you know, people like you and I, um, education, you know, institutions. The list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, you will have your own dashboard that looks just like this, that breaks down all of those points that I mentioned. Who is downloading your thesis? Where in the world is it being downloaded? If something particularly um, relevant to your thesis is maybe going on in the news, you will likely see an uptick in that readership. And these are hard statistics that you can bring with you to those interviews and to mention on your CV and whatnot. So this is really fun thing to track. I love it. And I can't wait till we get to that 1 million. You can go ahead and take a look at this um, link that's listed at the bottom, tinyurl.com/stars dash honors dash undergrad dash theses. I should probably make that a little shorter. But yeah, I encourage you to take a look at this. And this is just one of the amazing things that you can expect at the end of your time here in the program. So how do you qualify? On your degree audit, I will be checking for these 4 criteria listed here. So students are required to have at least 60 completed credits overall. That puts you at that junior standing. We require at least 12 completed upper division credits, which is 3,000 to 4,000 level. We also ask that students have at least a 3.4 UCF or overall GPA. Whichever is higher is the one that I will take. And you need to have at least 2 semesters remaining prior to graduation. If you are currently at the point where you are nearing maybe having almost 4 or 3 semesters left, I wouldn't encourage you to wait until you have 2 semesters left, because sometimes there are obstacles that are unexpected in research, and you want to make sure that you have enough time to accommodate for those obstacles, and so that you could tackle them and move on and conquer them really. So anywhere from 2 to 4 semesters, that's what we expect. But don't wait until the last minute. The sooner that you start the product, hopefully the sooner you will finish it. And if you have maybe a semester or 2 after completing the project before graduating, that just means that's more time for you to go out and present that research as a finished product. You can mention it on your future applications as being completed. And so that's even better. If any students here are considering writing a thesis in any of I doubt it, so I'm not going to go into it, but I mean, maybe psych or English, I doubt that too, but the biomed, nursing, psych, and English majors have, or theses rather, have additional eligibility requirements. I'm just mentioning that because the interdisciplinary thesis is an option. So please take a look at our website if you're considering writing a thesis in any of those. And if any questions about any of this, if you have any, just hold them till the end. I would be happy to address them then. So what does HUT research look like? Because students are able to write a thesis in any discipline, the theses that are produced by UCF students are really diverse and remarkable. I'm always excited to take a look at them. This is a screenshot of the theses that have been published from SPSIA in 2020. You can see some of the different topics. I would encourage you to take a look at this tiny URL. Take a picture of this if you can, because then you can take a look at what are the types of theses that are being published from SPSIA, who are the most recent thesis chairs who have served, what is the expectation for each of them. You could download it, take a look at the page count. What does it look like? You can really get a sense of what's expected of you in the program by taking a look at these. And we are so proud. A few numbers that are super exciting from SPSIA. For spring 2021, we have 27 students currently enrolled from your school. We have 23 students who are writing a thesis in political science. 4 students are writing a thesis in international and global studies. And 3 students have completed a thesis in political science, and they are awaiting graduation, and we are so excited. How is HUT structured? So earlier I mentioned that the program is 2 to 4 semesters. So here is a visual representation of those 2 to 4 semesters. Directed readings is the first half essentially of the program. In this portion, you are, once you have your thesis chair lined up and approved, you are expected to formally complete the formation of your committee, as well as a thesis proposal, an assigned cover page approved by all members of the committee and the HUT liaison, Dr. Mirilovic. Um, that is necessary in order to move on to the thesis semester. So some students complete all of that in the first semester of the program. Actually, most students are completing this in directed readings 1 now. We have a lot less students taking directed readings 2, but it is an option because sometimes, like I mentioned earlier, there are obstacles that come up, or just, your particular project may require 2 semesters for a proposal. And that's totally cool as long as you have, you know, your committee on board and you have the time in your graduation plan. So directed readings 1 is required. It is 3 credits. If you complete your proposal in that semester, you move straight on to thesis, which is another 3 credits. So the minimum number of credits for this program is 6. The maximum is 12. I strongly encourage you to speak with your academic advisor, with Nick. Essentially, it's important to know how does the plan that you foresee and maybe the potential number of credits that this could take, how does this fall within your graduation plan, um, including the discipline that you'd like to complete the thesis in. Some credits in one discipline may fall differently in your degree than others, and that could be different for each student. So definitely gather all of that information in the pre-planning stage. That way you can make an educated decision as to how to proceed. Students here who might be already university honor students, thesis 1 can be used toward your honors requirements. So a thesis chair is somebody who will oversee your work. They are faculty who are really excellent in shepherding students throughout the project, and they are subject matter experts, ideally, in the topic that you are pursuing. So they really help you to learn not only how to write a thesis, but how to professionally and effectively carry out the research that is required for the discipline. A few things that you want to look out for whenever you are determining, who qualifies to be a thesis chair for HUT, who doesn't. When you are looking at the faculty members' CV or their page on the department's website on the directory, 2 things you want to look for: tenured or tenure track, meaning assistant, associate, or full professor. Those professors will qualify, or lecturer. Um, Lecturers do qualify to serve as thesis chair. Um, at the end of the day, you also want to make sure that whoever it is that you are approaching to, hopefully be your thesis chair, that they are a subject matter expert in the topic that you would like to pursue. You can take a look at their publications that they've already put out into the world. You can see what is their specialty, and I would encourage you to do your research on all of these things before reaching out to faculty, because you want to put your best foot forward always, and that includes in the beginning stages. We do have help for you, but this is an independent venture, so you want to keep that in mind when you're approaching this and when you're problem solving. There are a few different ways that students approach faculty. One way that students, sort of figure this out is they have a faculty member in mind. Perhaps they've had a wonderful experience with them. They're already familiar with their work and their publications, and they would like to approach that faculty member and see if together they can come up with some sort of project. This could also mean in some cases that there is a project that is ongoing, that is that faculty member's project that a student is asked to take, maybe a portion of it and take the lead on that. So the options are really endless there. But the idea is that the student and the faculty member together come up with the project. Sometimes the student has a project in mind or a topic that they know, okay, this is definitely what I want to do, and which faculty member would be best to serve on that committee or as, as thesis chair. Um, but at the end of the day, students do need a thesis chair in order to start the HUT program, in order for me to enroll you in the HUT program. So definitely get those wheels turning as to who might be a good fit or what might be a good project, and start doing that preliminary research. There are so many reasons why the honors undergraduate thesis program is really exceptional. I've seen hundreds of students at this point go through the program. Many of them say that it's the best thing that they've ever done as an undergraduate. It is challenging, but it is worth it. The effort that you put in, you will surely get out. And earlier I mentioned putting your best foot forward. Whenever you are interacting with your thesis committee, whenever you are expected to meet deadlines and provide updates and schedule updates. Really, it is important to be professional, but also to enjoy it, because the interactions that you're going to be having with your committee all eventually lead to not only a finished product, but a professional relationship with faculty who will then hopefully help you with, excellent letters of recommendation that are much more individual to your skills, speaking to the, in much greater detail than maybe a course that has a, a lot of students in it, like a lecture. This is something that is a project that's ongoing. It's one-on-one, with your committee, and they can really offer a great insight into your next, hiring professionals or admission committees, to give them a sense of your work ethic. So really take advantage of this opportunity as something that is an investment in your future. And that's really what it is. Few other amazing benefits are that students earn that honors distinction on the diploma and the transcript, as I mentioned earlier. You earn upper level research credit, which is something that your future employers and grad schools and professional schools will see on your transcript. Um, you become part of the Burnett Honors College family. UCF is so big and that sometimes it's nice to have that small school family feel, and the Burnett Honors College offers that. We offer study space, free printing, premier access to events, whether it be just fun events, you know chatting with the deans over chai, or we in the meditation garden with the koi that we have back there, the koi fish, they're beautiful. um, it's really just a serene center, place for students to go, whether it be to study, take a nap, um, center yourself in between classes. Another benefit is money. We have access to the honors thesis scholarship, as well as all other honor scholarships. um, I encourage students to apply to as many scholarships as they can, or that they can apply for, really, because you can layer and stack a lot of those awards, and that can mean a lot of money, not only for your research, but to also supplement the time that is needed to, taking on an effort like this. You are afforded the option of enrolling in honors courses on a space available basis. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. And reduced cost poster printing. So poster printing is really back whenever pre-COVID, whenever a lot of the uh, professional educational conferences in undergraduate research, you are expected a lot of times to present a poster, and those posters, they're very big, they're beautiful, but they're expensive to print. We offer poster printing at a reduced cost, $30, huge savings. And we also have UCF affiliated housing for honor students. So you can join a group of honors students who are, driven and ambitious just like you, and you can live in the same space, and it's pretty cool. So, um, but all of this really ultimately leads to that personal, intellectual, and professional growth. You are leaving your mark on a discipline that is unique to you. This is something, an accomplishment that can never be taken away from you. And a lot of times I hear from students that it helps them to understand the direction that they would like to go. Some students maybe didn't consider a career that is based in research, but having gone through a program like this, getting their feet really wet in the process and thinking, okay, this is something I may actually want to do. So I highly encourage you to learn by doing, to take this opportunity and really just make the most of it. And you will come out of this a better reader, writer, professional. Students become more responsible, deeper thinkers, not only in your discipline, but just in life. The problem solving, the ability to just, start something and finish it well. That is huge to be able to show and to prove to future employers and admission committees when you are competing for spots, you know, with your peers who, maybe numerous peers that you're competing with. So having something that makes you stand out, that shows that you've gone above and beyond your degree requirements is really it's invaluable. So I wish I had this opportunity as an undergraduate, and I moved here all the way from New York to represent this program, and I'm so happy that I did, because as an academic advisor by trade, I can definitely recognize and appreciate an undergraduate option such as this that is just really outstanding. So that's why I'm here. I love it, and the proof is in the pudding. People all over the world like to read your work. So, how do you get started? The first step in the process is, oh goodness, forgive me. The first step in the process is to submit the HUT eligibility form here at www.tinyurl.com/HUT-apply. That is a non-binding form that just tells me that you are interested in learning if you do qualify to proceed in the process. If you are considering starting the HUT program in summer 2021, summer C, then you are invited to complete that eligibility form, but it must be before April 16th or on April 16th. That's the deadline. That's a firm deadline. That way we can make sure that we get you your decision, your paperwork, and you can complete all the steps needed on your end so that I can then enroll you in time before summer C. Same applies to fall 2021, but the deadline is July 30th. Again, firm deadline. You'll want to take a photo of um, this slide, because we also have some steps for preparing yourself for the process. So whether or not you have a project in mind or a thesis chair, you want to start that research now, and sometimes that includes um, meeting with peer advisors who have gone through the process in our office in honors research, as well as OUR, which is the Office of Undergraduate Research, and AAP, Academic Advancement Programs. Um, all three offices, we are partners, we work together, we offer different services, but ultimately all three, the things, the opportunities that we offer, they're wonderful to layer and stack with one another to really maximize, the effect of each. For instance, OUR, Office of Undergraduate Research, offers funding for research, whether it be for conferences or for, uh, you know, resources to actually carry out your research. They are really outstanding with that. And AAP is exceptional with helping students to prepare for grad school. So all three of us and our peer advisors are awesome. I encourage you to make time to meet with all of them so you can see what's the best path forward for you. with me. Earlier, I mentioned that you should speak with an academic advisor to see how HUT will fit into your graduation plan. Do you have room in your electives or elsewhere to accommodate for this research credit? And lastly, but not least, whenever hopefully you are found to be eligible and we send you the admission agreement and registration form, you will need to have that fully completed with signatures and sent over to us by the deadlines that we communicate to you in your admission decision email. So just a few important steps here, but again, that HUT eligibility form is non-binding. You do not need to have a project in mind in order to fill it out. You don't need to have a thesis chair solidified or even in mind in order to fill it out. But we encourage students to do this as soon as possible while it's still fresh in your mind. And that way we could get the ball rolling and our communications can begin. And so, yeah, so this is a few important points. I'll give you one more second to take a screenshot or a photo. And that's it for me. Thank you so much. Please reach out to us at honorsresearch@ucf.edu or the webpage here, honors.ucf.edu/research. And really all over our webpage, we have links to the request for contact form, which is another way to let us know who you are, what your question is, and one of our peer advisors will get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you so much for having me. Please let me know as well if you have any questions or concerns. My email address is amanda@ucf.edu, nice and simple. And I'm always happy to chat with students about the program. It's really outstanding. And again, there's so many opportunities that are competing for your attention as undergraduates. This is one way to get the most bang for your buck as far as time, effort, and long lasting benefits. So thanks so much for hearing me and for having me.
So thank you for that very informative presentation, Amanda. I also wanted to say a few things. So again, my name is Nikola Mirilovic. I'm the HUT coordinator for the School of Politics, Security, and International Affairs. So here are some reasons why I think you should do a HUT thesis and you should do original research. So the first one is that in general in the world today, we have access to a lot of information. It can still be a problem to get access to information, but now that we have the internet, there's a lot more information available. And the question then becomes sort of what is relevant, what is not, which arguments are more persuasive than others. So in general, when somebody is trying to persuade you or something, or when you're reading an article or a book, think about this question: how do you know, right? So that is a key question in evaluating things critically, in answering these questions. And perhaps the best way to deal with these issues is to do it yourself. So when you're doing original research, you're going to be learning about research design. So you're learning about techniques that we use to test different claims, to assess them against the data, to figure out which arguments are more persuasive than others. So these things are then important just in terms of having a better understanding of the world. Then there is another sort of a big picture intellectual benefit to doing original research, which is that you get a lot of flexibility in terms of setting your own agenda, right? So when you are a professional, you're working for an employer, you will to a large extent be following the agenda of that employer. And a good thing about the academia is that there is more flexibility in terms of choosing what you're going to be focusing on, setting your own agenda. And you as an individual are going to have, to some extent, a unique perspective, unique experiences. Now, I've had the experience of, I was checking, like a point I made in my research, I was checking, well, who has done this before? And I couldn't find anything. And I found it to be a rewarding experience because possibly if I didn't do this, perhaps nobody else would have. So if you are a person who is interested in international relations, comparative politics, for example, there are countries that certain questions in the context of certain countries are not studied very much. So you may be the first to do it, or you may be one of the few people to do it. And unless you do it, nobody else will. So by doing original research, you may be adding, you may be making a unique contribution to the public sphere, which can be a rewarding experience. And then there are some practical reasons why you should do this. So research and writing are very broadly applicable skills. In a lot of jobs, a lot of careers that you may have once you graduate from UCF, you may be using your writing skills, you may be using your research skills. So say, if you look at associates at law firms, this is what many of them do. A core part of their job is research and writing. Then next, if you want to apply to law school, or if you want to apply to graduate school, you may need a writing sample. So something that can be highly useful as a writing sample is your honors thesis, which is a piece of original research that you have done. Also, you will probably need letters of recommendation. So at UCF, we have a lot of large classes. But if you are completing an honors thesis, then you will be working with 2 to 4 faculty closely on your research project, which means that they're going to get to know you well, which means that it becomes easier for them to write a strong letter of recommendation, which can then help you get into law school or a graduate school. So I will stop there and see if you have questions.
I have a question regarding how much time I have left. I have this upcoming summer semester and the entirety of the fall before I have enough credits, I believe, to graduate. Do you think that using the time I have left, I would be able to still do the undergrad thesis?
So I'll start with this answer, and then I'm sure Dr. Mirilovic will like to add something. But as far as we're concerned, on the HUT end of things, that's 2 semesters. That's the minimum that's needed in order to uh, start and complete what we expect. But it all depends on the project, the scope of the research. There are a lot of factors that come into play. So, but yes, if the short answer is if you can accomplish all of those things within the summer C term and the fall, then as far as we're concerned, you're good to go. But again, it all depends on the project and topic, all that. So, Dr. Mirilovich, do you have any? I know typically a lot of faculty members will argue that the best research is done, over 3 to 4 semesters. But I don't want any students who only have those 2 semesters left to be deterred from, seeing if this is something that they can make happen, because many students do.
Yeah, I mean, I've supervised a student myself who has done that. So I think it was fall and summer, and he was able to finish. So it's possible. I think maybe the downside is that there will be more pressure on you. So because in practice, there are also a number of students who take an extra semester or sometimes 2 to finish. And if you want, then you wouldn't be able to do that because you would be graduating. But if you, that pressure also could be good, because that, sometimes having these deadlines can motivate you to get things done. So I guess the bottom line is that the question for you is, would you mind not having the option to go further to add an extra semester? So there would be a bit more pressure on you. And the question is, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing in terms of, the positive would be maybe that would, help focus and finish things more quickly. The negative is that you would have less flexibility. You wouldn't have the option to take an extra semester if you run into problems with your research or something like that.
I've saved some of my easier courses for the end, in case I was going to do research. So I think I'm definitely going to give it a shot. Thank you.
Awesome. I look forward to reading your application.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns?
I do. First, I wanted to thank you guys for the really informative presentation. I've been thinking about honors thesis since freshman year. I'm junior credits now, so like I'm really glad to have learned about even more benefits that come with the program. I guess what I wanted to ask was also, the extra help side of things, professional development wise, after we have our established thesis and we've gone through the research process and, the defending the thesis portion, will we get help on, let's say, how to construct this in our resumes, or, maybe even with grad school or law school applications, how to incorporate the research that bolsters our application to these places, as well as will we get emails from the research organizations on campus that you mentioned about conferences that we can participate in? Those were just the questions I had. Thank you.
Great question. Thanks for asking them. So your first question about the, how to communicate this on your resume and how can you, sort of, I like to say layer and stack. I said it a million times, but that's really what it is. OUR, Office of Undergraduate Research and Academic Advancement Programs, both of those offices are really awesome in the 2 points that you just mentioned. OUR offers a wide array of topics of workshops. One of them is how to communicate all of this on your resume. So that's actually perfect solution for you, but also career services. They're also seasoned in helping students to build the resumes and other documents that are needed. Our office focuses on how to help students to get through the program and administratively and all of that stuff. But I would encourage you to utilize the few offices on campus who can help you with that, like OUR, Career Services, even AAP. AAP helps you to maximize not only the opportunities and the time that you have left on campus for grad school, but also helps you to work out all those apps and resumes and stuff. So OUR, AAP, Career Services, that's number one. And then number two, as far as opportunities for conferences and things, our program, the HUT program, we have a web course that is for resources that not only are resources that you should access while you're in the program, but afterwards. But also just getting on listservs of from OUR, AAP, keeping your finger on the pulse with the things that are being sent out from those offices are really awesome to know what's out there as far as research conferences and other opportunities, scholarships. We also send out a weekly newsletter. My office sends that out. Typically to go over the upcoming deadlines and opportunities and scholarships, but we're actually going to be transitioning to offering the announcements of those opportunities and scholarships and conferences to the web course. So that way we make sure that they're going out as sort of like announcements or discussion boards, and it can be more of a conversation that's had with us and students will also be able to post opportunities that they come across. So yes, that's very important to us, but we also encourage students to be resourceful in seeking those out as well. I hope that helps.
I have a question as well. I'm actually an honors undergraduate thesis student right now. I am one of the 27 writing one for political science track. So my question is, what if you don't think it's like good enough to be published at the end? Like, do you have a say or whether or not it's like not good? Like, what's the criteria?
Enya, I would say that you should definitely have a chat with your thesis chair. This session is more for prospective students, so I would definitely say you definitely want to address that. Definitely. But there are a few factors that I'd like to chat with you about, but probably offline. So I would advise you in this case to speak with your thesis chair about their expectations as well as any concerns that you have as well about the writing. I would say to start there and then to also contact us in the office as well so we can help troubleshoot.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. And I'm always happy to field any questions. I appreciate your honest feedback on the event survey that Nick just sent out. And I will ask Nick to send me the attendance roster and all of your emails. That way I can also reach out to you and send some follow-up information, and you can also you'll also have my contact information that way. Any other questions or concerns? Thank you, Macy. Thanks, Bella. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see your applications roll in. We are all caught up on summer eligibilities, so get those in. I do anticipate I can have those decisions out by as soon as the end of next week. Awesome. Yay. Thank you.